Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Sydney and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this isometric grid in just a few easy steps. Okay, so when you have your document all sorted, the first thing you're going to want to do is come up here to where it says View. Just click on that, come down here and turn off Snap to Pixel. We only want Snap to Point on because we want to be able to snap just to the intersections of the lines instead of every single pixel. So just turn that off. And then come over here to where it says Rectangular Grid Tool. If you don't see this, it's probably going to be under Line Segment Tool. So you can just right click on that and it will be down here. So you can click on that. And before we actually click on the artboard, come over here to the left where you have your fill and your stroke. With your fill selected, just click on this, just hit none, because we only want to have a stroke selected. Since we're making a grid, we don't want it filled in. Okay, now you can just left click anywhere on the board, and it's gonna come up with this box, and this is going to be where we're actually going to create the grid. So here, these two numbers, the width and height, this is just saying how big the grid will actually be, so it's border size. So I'm gonna keep this at 500 by 500. Obviously you can change this to whatever you like depending on what you're making. And then down here we have the horizontal dividers and the vertical dividers. This is saying how dense your grid is going to be. So the larger these numbers are, the more dense your grid is going to be, and then the smaller the number is, the more open your grid's going to be. I like 100 by 100, so I'm gonna keep that. And just make sure that these two numbers are exactly the same. That's kind of how the isometric grid works, and it will be kind of distorted and funky looking if they're not the same number. And then just hit OK. All right, so we have our grid. I'm just gonna center this a bit. Okay, now with your grid selected, come over here to the right under the Properties panel and find where it says Transform. Under Transform, you're gonna see these three dots that says More Options. Just click on that. And just come over here to where it says height. Now we're gonna change this and we're gonna make it a percentage. And the number you wanna use is 86.602. And don't forget your percent sign. I do that all the time and I'm very confused as to why my grid looks super weird. So just try to remember that percent sign. And then underneath you're gonna see shear. Shear is just saying it's gonna distort it a little bit. So the number you wanna use is -30. And then next to that is your rotate. This we want at 30. And then just hit enter. And there you go, we have our isometric grid. So I'm gonna zoom out a bit. And then I'm going to Shift Alt and pull this just so that it covers the whole artboard. Zoom in a little bit. So for me personally, it looks a little big and clunky. The lines are a little bit too big and distracting. So if you come over here under Appearance, the stroke is a bit big for my liking, so I'm actually gonna turn this all the way down to 0.25. And it just gives it a nice, cleaner look and won't really get in the way. So you zoom out, looks like that. Now, the last thing I like to do, and again, it's just preference, is I come back into Layers and I will lock this before I do anything else because I don't want this to move around at all. All right, there you go. So that's how you make an isometric grid in a few easy steps. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just leave them down below and like this video if you found it helpful. All right, take care guys, and I'll see you in the next one.